Going
Hey,
Live.
got it. Got the warning, and I call it a warning because now I know it can't say anything stupid. It'd be out there.
Well, we have Doc on here all the time, so I don't know about anything stupid. All right. Well, welcome in everybody. I just want to make sure that my mic is correct. And it is. Happy New Year. I know it's been a while. I've probably been on here since Saturday night's main event, which I think was before Christmas. And life's just been life has been hectic. Um, Yeah,
It's
there's
the
no other
time
way
of
to
year.
put it. There's no other way to put it. But it's a new year. We wanna get on here and first weekend of the year at least. Couldn't let that first week go by without putting up some content. So we are here and we're gonna talk for the last time. We're gonna talk about 2024 here. The real Big E with Rob the Ambassador. How's it going, sir? Did you enjoy your new year, bringing in the new year?
Yeah, didn't do much. Back in the day, we would go out and do something like that. But no, man, we stayed at home, had some food, had some drink, and toasted some champagne at midnight. Spent most of our evening watching the big country bash countdown out of Nashville. Man, we enjoy that. We did that last year, and yeah,
Country
man,
bash.
yeah, man, it's a show. It comes on TV, and they have Chris Stapleton, Luke Bryant, all the big country stars.
Oh,
Yeah, Lainey Wilson. Yeah, man, and yeah, they had Big and Country. They had a whole bunch of people. It was nice. It was fun. We had a good time with it.
okay. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. I didn't do anything. I was sat here and I was half sick,
Mm.
which is another reason why we had a delay because I'm kind of finally over it now. I'm gonna adjust this camera 1 second. So I think I'm about 90% clear, not quite 100, but about 90.
Mm.
So I was ready to come back. I was ready to talk to the people, and something we didn't get to do last year, but I want to get back to doing was just giving our top wrestling moments of 2024. Um, We used to do best and worst stuff. It's a little difficult to do those things. It takes time to go back and try to really, if you really gonna do a countdown, really do it. You really gotta go back and do some research because there's things that get forgot about. Kept it simple this year. Um, Usually what I like to do, I like to try to get somebody else to even host this thing, so Rob and I can just focus on the countdown. Just haven't been able to do that. So yeah, last time I did it, it was interesting.
Yeah, yeah, we had Doc doing it right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
hey, that always makes it interesting, but in a good way.
Mhm.
We love you, Doc. You know that.
But yeah, so
It's my hat.
2024 was definitely a interesting year for wrestling. I mean, I don't think we knew what we were gonna get going into it. Um, there was a lot of buzz around Roman going up against The Rock finally because The Rock came back. He kept coming back, and then he was dropping all these hints and teasers, and people were loving it until Cody won the Royal Rumble, and then people were like, no, 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 no. Y'all did that, so we need to see that. That's the real story here. And kudos to them for actually pivoting instead of just ignoring and acting like they can't see and hear all the chatter. No, they kudos to them for actually going, okay, let's make an adjustment. Let's let's make me talking about The Rock. Let's make me the bad guy here, and let's run with that. I thought that was a great idea. He had a lot of people coming up. I won't get into mentioning names, but a lot of good returns, a lot of people that made strides and changed the game in the ring, and we got a different kind of a different roster, really, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, had a lot of debuts, people coming from different companies. NXT is back thriving. God. So yeah, 2024 was a good year for wrestling for sure. For WWE specifically. So, before we get into the countdown, anything you want to put out there?
But as far no, I mean, I think anything I have to say, I'll just kind of say it as we go ahead and do our rankings.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to start with the category um, that I feel is important that I just talked about. So there's people that's been around the company for a while, and whether people like them or not, or how they feel about them, I do feel like every year there's two people, a male and a female, that improve vastly and climb up the ranks even more, become more popular, sell more merch, all that good stuff. So we're gonna start with the most improved male and female. Uh, I'm gonna do something Book used to do. I'm gonna throw to you, sir. Your most improved uh, male and female. Start with the ladies first. Most improved female.
Of course, ladies first, and I am going with Nia Jax. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, Nia went away for a
Ooh.
while, and under a lot of criticism, and some of it justifiably so. She had the reputation for being a hard worker or a careless worker, really. A lot of people didn't like her. A lot of people thought maybe she should lose some weight. Maybe she should just change things up a little bit. So she went away for a while, and what do you know? She lost some weight. She came back. She is better in the ring, more careful in the ring, and she was rewarded with King of the Ring, or excuse me, Queen of the Ring, and
Mm-hmm.
with a world championship. So good for Nia. I think it's well earned, and I'm happy for her. I never really disliked Nia, but I did understand some of the criticism. But to see her come back and to be at the level she is after putting in the work, I'm happy for her. And to me, she is the most improved female of the year.
I like it. What is with this camera? Okay. Most improved male.
My most improved male is a guy who, when first brought into the company, I feel like they were wasting his talents. This is a guy I really enjoyed in NXT, and I thought he would have some potential on the main roster. But when they brought him in, they had him as a manager of these two supermodels.
Oh
But
Lord.
when the leadership changed, they they made him what he originally was. This guy is a might not be the best in-ring performer, but definitely a great smack talker. Eventually, that smack talk got him over with the crowd, which got him a higher profile, got him into some championship matches, got him a championship that he no longer has. Maybe he regains it next week. I'm talking about L.A. Knight. Yeah, I should have done the yeah, but yeah, to
Oh
me,
God.
that is my most improved male because first of all, when they brought him in and he was doing that modeling thing, he could have frowned on that and said, you know what, I'm not feeling it. But he tried to make it work the best he could.
Yeah, he tried, and but you could. It was one of those. I'm trying to do this, but I'm gritting my teeth. This sucks.
Right. But kudos to him for sticking it out because now, they finally got him in the right spot. They gave him this opportunity. The crowd started to respond to him. But even then, his in ring work just really wasn't where it should be. And I'm not saying right now he's a ring technician, but he definitely has work to improve his in ring because he
Oh yeah.
realizes, okay, yeah, I'm an A-lister now, and I'm in the championship picture. This is the area where I'm weak, so I'm going to work on it. I respect that, and I'm glad that he is finally got the spot that he deserves. L.A. Knight.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, he surprised the hell out of me at SummerSlam. The moves he was pulling out against Logan Paul. I was like, whoa, this ain't the same dude. I don't know if he was just saving this stuff up. He'd been going to the Performance Center or what. Maybe Triple H gave him some feedback. But yeah. And even now, like every match he does now, he gets better and better.
Yep.
So I like it. I like it. Well, this will come to nobody's surprise. Um, that we are, as you like to say, simpatico when it comes to most improved female. Mine's Nia Jax too.
Okay. Good.
Um, pretty much everything you highlighted, the weight loss, um, the character. I mean, she main evented Elimination Chamber in Australia with Rhea Ripley, and they had a great match just yesterday on the first 3 hour show of SmackDown. with that move off the top turnbuckle with Naomi. Like nobody would she wouldn't have been able to do that a few years ago. There's no way in hell. And she's hitting these moves clean now. She's way more. You can tell she's just easier to work with, and all at the same time, still big enough to be that force, that strong female force at the same time. She's more of a hybrid now, which I do like, and it's just better. Um, her promo work is better too. Making her queen in the ring, then win the championship, and just being dominant. Yeah, I really think that it goes a long way when you take all that criticism and you don't let it kill you. You come back better, stronger, leaner, and you crush it every time you go out there. So yes, hats off to Nia Jax for all the improvements she's made. And I didn't see this coming either. Well, for 2024, but to me, the guy that's improved the most, and we made fun of him when him and his brother split up. We made fun of that theme, but it is just me, Oos.
All right. I like that. I'm happy for Jay. I like that choice.
A1, just me. Yeah.
He
Uh,
made it work, man. I
you
thought he needed to change
cannot,
that, but you know what?
yeah,
What do I
you
know?
can't deny the pop he got. I think this is from Backlash. Oh no, it's at Raw, but when they went to Backlash and he had the crowd in the palm of his hand with the lights and they were all yeeting.
Yeah,
That's
yep,
when I was like, oh, he made it.
yep.
He's made it. And then winning the Intercontinental Championship or two on top of that. I mean, he truly is main event Jey Uso. Uh, he's come out last and like all these pay-per-views now. Like he gets the grand entrance now. Like he's the man. You know, everybody's eating. So it goes a long way. Dude's got to be selling merch like crazy too.
Oh yeah.
Got to be. So yeah, main event Jey
Yeah, them
Uso.
glasses. I'm sure people them are some pretty cool glasses with the yeet on that you got in the background there. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't mind a pair myself, but I can't pull it off like Jay. So
So yeah, that's my most improved male, Jey Uso, who I
nice,
hope
good
gets some
choice.
more gold this year. All right, let's go to who you thought was your best or favorite return of the year.
Okay, and are we just picking one?
It, it, if you got more than one, that's fine. Because we
Okay,
kept this countdown so short this year.
yeah, I'll make them quick. I have three, and my first one, and I'm curious to see how this goes over with people, but John Cena coming back at Money in the Bank to announce his retirement tour. I thought that was a pretty big moment. We knew that John comes back occasionally. We get that. But this time he wasn't coming back to get a match or to challenge anyone. He was letting us all know that, hey, I'm shutting it down. 2025 is going to be my last year, my last appearances in the ring. Get your tickets, buy your merch, whatever you're going to do. The last time is now. And I think that's pretty significant. Whether you like Cena or not, you cannot deny that he is one of the biggest WWE superstars of all time. Some people might say he is the biggest of all time. That's debatable, but some people might say that. So for him to come back and announce his retirement, when he came back, that's not what I thought he was going to do. I don't know if a lot of people thought that's what he was going to do, but that's a pretty significant moment for a guy who's been at the top of the WWE food chain for the last 20 years or so. So I thought
Hmm.
that was big. My second one, obviously, Roman Reigns returning at SummerSlam after his big loss to Cody. And I'm sure we'll get into that. I don't have to say too much about it. He went away. I don't follow social media a lot, but I know he put some things out there every once in a while. We could tell he was getting ready. The only question was, when will he be back? Well, at SummerSlam, he comes walking out looking slim and trim, wearing this OTC shirt, which at the time we didn't know what it meant. Um, Crowd popped. And it's just amazing how Roman is now a face. When he was a face before, people can stand Roman. He was the biggest heel in the company for a few years, loses to Cody, but this incredible storyline that they wrote, now they've managed to turn him into the face that
Hmm.
they always wanted him to be.
All right.
It's just, I guess it's just how you go about it. But so I thought that return was big time, and now the bloodline storyline, which we thought could be getting a little stale, has new life. And
Mm.
then for me, the big return, and you spoke about it on the pre-show, Rock showing up at day one, that set up this whole chain of events leading up to one of the greatest WrestleMania moments uh, that we've ever seen. Definitely within recent years, the whole storyline. You know, I have not watched the behind the scenes thing of how this whole thing. I still don't know if it's just WWE was smart enough to pivot or if they just stubbed their toe by having Cody win the Rumble in the first place. If your plan is to have Rock fight Roman, then why have Cody win the Rumble? That would be just dumb. So I don't know what the story is. It really doesn't matter because it turned out the way that it should and it was compelling to watch. But it all started with The Rock showing up at Raw Day One, January 1st, 2024.
Yep, it did. um, yeah, just to touch on what you said. Yeah, Cena coming back. It's kind of weird how he did that. He came back to announce he's retiring, then goes away, and it's like, yeah, I'll be back at the Rumble. So, well, he'll be on Raw, Monday
Yeah, yeah.
also. Uh, oh, Joshua Cole, what's up, man?
What's up, Joshua Cole?
Um, yeah, and then The Rock. So I'll just get into mine. So my big return obviously was just The Rock, period. All right, The Rock coming back. Um, we wanted it for WrestleMania Hollywood. We wanted it for 39. It just made sense. Rock, Roman, Hollywood made sense. Didn't get it. Cool. We still got something great. Um, but him coming back this time, and like you kind of touched on, he was going to come back came back as a babyface at first, and people loved it. People loved it. Like you said, I don't know, maybe they did kind of double book it this whole thing, and they didn't realize what they were doing until they had Cody on the table and Rock on the table, and now we got to figure out how to get out of this thing. Well, as great as the heel as a Rock was back in the day, I mean, the final boss is a completely different type of heel. Uh, where he's not roasting people for comedy purposes. I mean, some of it was funny, but a lot of it is just tearing people a whole new ass. And he's just like, okay, people know I'm on the board now. People know I'm a boss. So look, I'm the final boss. How about that? And taking that and running with it and becoming this maniacal asshole that not just running his mouth, he's taking it out on people too. He's
Right, right.
showing them like, yeah, I am the final boss. And Mama Rhodes, that whole thing with Mama Rhodes and that belt, man,
Yeah,
that just brilliant. Like
it was.
he was having the time of his life, and it's just like, man, if you could do this, if you could apply this logic to your movies, you would have more successful movies. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yes, for me, the best return, hands down, was The Rock coming back and just added that extra something to already loaded WrestleMania. All right, let's go. Um, we did that and that. Your top three moments, so not matches, but moments. So these could be matches, but these are just three things, probably segments or things that happened during the year that just stood out to you and go that you go back and watch, maybe go back and look at.
Okay, this is tough, man, because there's been a lot of moments, but three that really stood out to me, and two of them did involve matches. The first is Bronson Reed, who I know a lot of people maybe wasn't a fan of. I always was a fan of his, but
I
they
was
brought
not.
him, yeah, man. But they brought him back, and I like what they've done with him. He had a rivalry with Braun Strowman,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that provided a lot of good moments. But the one I remember the most is him delivering a tsunami to Braun while he was laying on top of a car.
Hmm.
Now, I don't care how you stage that. how you reinforce the roof of the car, that has to hurt on some level when you have a guy 300 pounds falling on you. The only thing laying under you is metal. That had to hurt, but that was an incredible segment, an incredible moment, and one that I will remember for a while. Number
Nice.
man, number one and number two could easily be interchangeable, but I'm gonna
Okay.
go with my number two being the New Day turning on Big E.
Ooh, wee.
Man, now this was one of the slowest burns in a while. And what it looked like is that Xavier was going to turn on Kofi and maybe just it would be the breakup of the New Day in that way. But no, guess what? In this day and age when it is so hard to swerve us, they
Mm-hmm.
swerved us.
They swerved us.
I did not see that coming with Big E walking out saying, "Hey, I'm going to be your manager. We're going to fix this thing up." And then both Kofi and Xavier turning on Big E to the
Mm-hmm.
shock of everybody. And what it did is it took a tag team that has been around for 10 years and pretty much had done everything there is to do in the business, maybe had run their course, maybe had gotten a little stale in some people's
Right.
estimation. What you did is completely reinvented them, reinvigorated them. Now they are the biggest heels in the company, getting booed out of the arenas, Dominic Mysterio style. These guys can't get on a mic and talk. The crowd hates them. The New Day now is back. And to be able to do that, to write a story where you can reinvigorate a team that has been around this long, I thought it was incredible. And I thought the way the guys handled the segment, I really felt for Big E in that moment, because we all know
Mm-hmm.
he's injured and they went at him about his neck. Well, Stone Cold came back from a messed up neck. Edge came back
Mm-hmm.
from a messed up neck. What about you, Big E? Man, we
Brian,
were like,
Daniel
oh,
Bryan.
yeah, man. They
Yeah.
they they went in. It was
Yep.
effective. It was brilliant, and I loved it. So that is my number two. And then my number one, everybody knows the Royal Rumble is my favorite event. One of my favorite things about it is the surprise entrances. Well, in the women's Royal Rumble, guess what? Jordan Grace from TNA shows up at Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And man, first of all, I was shocked, but I was actually very happy for Jordan Grace. I was very happy that she got this spot. I can't say that I've been a huge fan of hers, but I am aware of her. And
I'm a big
and I
fan. Me and
yeah,
Blake, big fan of her.
right. And I think she deserved this spot. I'm glad she's getting it. If what I'm hearing is true, she's probably going to be a full timer on the main roster at some point. I hope that's true. I hope that happens. But this moment in the Rumble for her is my number one because that was the biggest shock to me of any of the entrance in the surprise entrance in the Rumble. So my number one, Jordan Grace appearing at the Women's Royal Rumble.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love Jordan Grace, man. Um, well, I don't know if she's still with TNA or not, but I hope they do bring her up over to WWE. She's too big for TNA at this point.
Yeah, I've heard some chatter that maybe that either her contract is up or there is some compensation that they can receive to get her out of that contract. I try not to read too much, but there is one segment I read on a certain site on a
Hmm.
regular basis, and I'm hearing that Jordan Grace could be on the main roster for WWE at some point this year.
Oh, well, I am a huge fan of that idea. I think she's perfect. I think she's a perfect fit for WWE. Um, Sorry, just trying to get this file. But yes, I do. The only thing I don't like, I feel like, yeah, it's kind of the thing. She's on that stuff, and it's kind of changed her voice a little bit, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, if WWE, I believe they have this wellness policy, so I'm sure they've had conversations about that. And you know what? I don't think she needs it. You look at ladies like Bianca and Jade and even Lash Legend, who's big. There's a lot of women, Rhea, big, strong women. So she doesn't need that.
No, but she's big into bodybuilding.
Yeah, so she
Um,
doesn't really need that.
so I get it. I'm not knocking her or anything like that at all, but but that's my only real critique with her. She's a beast. She's strong. So I would love to see her versus Jade Cargill, her versus Bianca. Like there's some real matches they could do with her. She can work.
Yep.
All right. So my top three moments here. Uh, you know, I did not see this coming. I mean, I should have. I mean, I kind of heard the rumblings. Maybe you heard the rumblings too at the time. But when this Raw episode was doing this thing, Jey Uso goes up the tunnel. We finally hear those lights flickering again, and we are treated to the arrival of the Wyatt Six. The way they shot that, going back through the curtain, and you start seeing all the stuff, and you check it was laid out and bleeding, and but they slowly show you everybody. And seeing Nikki Cross like crawling through the smoke, that was creepy as hell. Didn't see that coming. And then I think you saw Ramblin' Rabbit, who's Eric Rowan, and then you saw I want to say um what's the pig?
Shit, I hated all them characters. I can't even tell you.
uh
I know Rambling Rabbit and
Ramblin' Rabbit, I think
Abigail, Mercy the
damn,
Bird.
I can't think of the name
Uh,
of the pig, but he was next. Mercy the Bird was Dexter Loomis, and then you finally see Uncle Howdy. Like he was levitating almost the way they shot that, and he just starts walking, doing that hand thing. And the crowd lost their shit when they finally came out and did the epic pose and everything with the lantern. Um, yeah, and nobody knew that was coming. Like there was not only dirt sheets or anything like that. They Dexter Loomis went away, grew his hair out. I thought that was just a wig. No, that's his hair. Well, some of that is a wig, but a lot of that is his hair. Um, he changed his wrestling style. Um, yeah, I love this. I was thoroughly entertained, and I have been, and I like that they're treating it as if like not not necessarily mystical characters. Um, they kind of are, but they kind of aren't. Like, they're not treating us like we're stupid, I guess is the best way I could put it. Um, and they only use them like sporadically, like as needed. They're not just on the show to be on the show to get watered down or become boring. They don't talk very much. They don't need to. They don't need to win championships either. I am curious though how they're going to use them in 2025. Um, or people start to break off on their own. I would like to see Nikki Cross get more action. Um, because we know she can go in the ring too. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this return, this moment as well. And like you said, man, um, I did not see when they told us they were going to be celebrating the new day. And I thought, okay, here comes Big E's going to come back. He's going to save the day. He's going to get these brothers to get along, especially the week prior when Kofi and Xavier just let it all out. They just went at each other and, aired out all the dirty laundry about how they felt about each other, all the failures, everything. And then the next week, these two Negroes gonna team up on E. Wow. I mean, and kudos to WWE. You know how deep you got to go with this to bring somebody's mama to the show and even have her like, no,
yeah,
walk
right.
off.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah. Even Kofi's mom
that
was
is
like, "Nah, you wrong. You
you
wrong."
wrong. To have Dominic, the person that got booed the most, go. Man, I didn't like Big E, but damn, y'all cold blood.
Yeah, like damn. He goes, "Hey, but y'all took the pressure off of me though. They doing y'all
Yeah.
out of the arena now. So hey, Dom's probably happy."
Dom about to be the biggest babyface in history. Mark my word.
Yeah, I can see.
Uh, but yeah, just they can't go anywhere now without getting booed. They can't talk on a mic. Everywhere they go, booed out the building. They cannot. They can't get a word in. They don't come out to any music, nothing. It's just like, yeah, you were right. How do you 10 years, same way, how do you reinvigorate and renew yourself? You got to go heel and you got to go all in. Now, this is kind of a chance or no chance question. Well, not even kind of. It is a chance or no chance question. Will Big E be in the Royal Rumble? And
Ooh,
is that another swerve?
man, that's tough to say because we've seen Big E work commentary. You know what, man? I'm gonna go chance. Just I'm gonna try to speak it into existence. I'm hoping the brother, he's been out a while. I'm hoping that neck is healed well enough. And even if he can't go in a singles match, I think he could at least do something like the Rumble. But if he does the Rumble, then of course that to me would seem like it's building to a rivalry somehow, some way. I'm gonna just chance. I'm just gonna answer the question and say chance. Yeah, there is a chance.
I'm gonna say the same thing too. I think they, I think there was more. Triple H don't do nothing for no reason. Yes, him coming out and them shitting on him. Yes, that made them the biggest heels. But there's always a comeuppance. Like Triple H don't do nothing for the sake of just doing it.
Hmm.
Especially now with these guys. These guys made WWE so much money during a time when WWE wasn't really cool. It's unreal, with the bootios and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, them. And I bought Hay and Tay some of them unicorn
The
horns.
unicorn thing.
Remember,
Yeah.
we took them to Raw. Yeah, we took bought them a couple of them. They had a box of bootios too. Yeah, so
Yeah. All right. My number one moment though, um, took place right here in Chicago. And it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Cody Rhodes and The Rock. Mama Rhodes, when he beat the brakes off Cody outside in the rain after coming out earlier in the show, not saying a word, which is like The Rock didn't say anything. He just came out and didn't say nothing, whispered in Cody's ear and walked off. And and then for him to, it's almost like he went online afterwards and saw all the comments and stuff. And he went, this final boss character, he was very aware of what was going on and he was not shy about anything. All right, talking crazy. Cody, go you Cody crybaby bitches, like just going off all
yeah,
the time. And this to beat the hell out of Cody, take the blood and wipe it on his belt and take the belt. Like it made you so invested with the brutality. And for him to wear a Versace vest out in the rain, all jacked up and just beating the hell out of this man talking shit. I mean, it don't get no better than that, man. It just to me it don't. That takes me back to the 90s with this man. Uh I loved every second. I mean, my jaws on the floor. I was like, what? This is what we doing? Is the show not no longer PG? It's not a PG show no more. And that was the other thing. This whole final boss run, this man was cussing left and right on live TV
yeah,
with
man.
live mic.
This was some
Like,
TVMA stuff.
yeah. Not to mention this, we ain't gonna talk about the shit he said at WrestleMania. He was going off.
Yeah, Mama Rhodes was too.
Yeah. So,
This is
but
that's bullshit.
yeah, but this was my top moment of the year right here. There's
Okay,
there's
yeah.
other stuff, but when you narrow it down to three, I had picked these three. This was my favorite one for sure. Okay, into the meat and potatoes here. I'm gonna say the matches for the main event. Now we're gonna get to your male and female superstar of the year.
All right, we're going ladies first, and this is an interesting one, man. A few years back, we had a very spirited conversation about this lady um, when she was trying to win the title from Becky Lynch. And
Mm,
at that time, I didn't think she was worthy, but you know what? Damn it, she is now. And I'm talking about Liv Morgan. Um,
I
what?
remember that spirited debate.
Yeah, yeah, man. I just didn't think she was ready at that time. And it's debatable whether or not she was. I didn't think she was. It doesn't mean she wasn't. I just didn't think she was. But man, she has really grown into this character. She has stopped crying and she is just a badass. She's stealing Rhea's man, and she is just just great in this heel role. Maybe the heel role works better for her. The crying baby face to me did not work, but this persona of hers is perfect. She's believable as champion. She's believable in this role. She's believable as this vixen, and she's basically kind of taken over the leadership role of, you can kind of say, of Judgment Day almost.
Well, she
And
got
it all,
Finn acting all funny again, like Rhea
yeah,
did. Yeah.
yeah, man. So it's all working for Liv right now, and she's back in this big spot with Rhea, and it's great. And so for Liv, for the lady I was criticizing a few years ago, hey, apologies now, because you are at the top of your game and you are my female superstar of the year.
Not mad at it. Not mad at it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, Mel. Well, man, look, I'm curious to see if you have anybody different. If you do, great. But I had to go with Cody Rhodes. You know, look, when Cody came back at 38 and had one of the greatest WrestleMania matches we've ever seen, and rivalries with Seth Rollins, I think we all kind of knew that he was destined to be a champion. And most of us thought coming into 39 that it was a slam dunk. But what do you know? Shock, awe. Cody
Hmm.
loses. And a lot of people were like, well, that's just messed up. Cody should have won. And then this whole thing started about, and Triple H maybe started it at the post show, the news conference. Everybody said, well, how did, I'm paraphrasing, but I think the question was like, well, a lot of fans are disappointed that Cody didn't finish the story. And Triple H said, well, we're still writing the story, right? The story's still
Hmm.
being written. So it became a
Hmm.
thing. Cody finishing his story. Is Cody going to finish his story? So that leads us into WrestleMania 40 and everything we're talking about involving The Rock, the final boss, which all helped to elevate that. The
Yeah.
moment culminated, yeah, at WrestleMania 40 in
Even
the
even Brock, the matches he had with Brock helped elevate him.
right. Yeah. So, you know, finally Cody gets over. And I mean, I think it's safe to say he is the biggest babyface on the roster right now. He's probably selling the most tickets, the most merch, uh, gets one of the biggest pops whenever he comes out. And he's given us some great matches. He hasn't fought really any slouch opponents. I mean, Logan Paul, not a slouch opponent. Kevin Owens, AJ, you Seth. He had a Hell in the Cell match that we saw with Seth, not this year, but I
Mm.
mean since he's
When he
come
first came
back,
back, yeah.
when he first came back. But yeah, everything Cody's done with this title, I mean, man, he's been a great champion, a great personality, and yeah, I definitely give him my male superstar of the year.
Well, I'm just gonna leave the graphic up.
Okay, this was
Because
kind of a slam dunk, I
it
think.
is. I mean, when you really think about it, like who had a better year than this guy? Like nobody. Nobody had a better year. And simple fact is he defeated Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He defeated the bloodline. He did what he said he was gonna do. He's gonna leave Roman a tribal chief with no tribe, and he did that. With a little help, but he did it. And then you throw on the fact that all these people chasing him, Kevin Owens chasing him, Seth Rollins, not Seth Rollins, but I mean Bronson. Not damn, I'm getting all these people mixed up. But AJ Styles. There was a match with AJ Styles. That feud. Never forget those chants overseas either, because that match was crazy.
Wow,
Um,
had the
yeah,
camera shaking.
yeah. Had camera shaking during those matches. But just the way Cody carries himself, comes out in suits every single week, greets the fans, makes time for everybody. Um, Carries himself as a champion. So much so that Triple H gave him that Winged Eagle belt for Saturday Night's main event. And everybody kind of hinted that, well, if Cody wins at WrestleMania, he's gonna bring back that Winged Eagle belt. Like that, we all said that. It never happened, but it did now. And now we're looking forward to Royal Rumble. Um, yeah, man. I mean, it's everything you said. I mean, it's Cody. It just is. You always wonder if when somebody gets put in that position, can they carry that mantle as champion? And there were other moments too, like when he tagged with Roman and Roman picked up the belt and stared at it, and handed it to him out of respect. Like, no, this is yours. You earned this. It's just all those little moments that keep putting Cody up on that pedestal. Plus, he earns it in the ring. This dude wrestles. I think he's out. If he hasn't wrestled the most matches this year, he's up there in the top five for sure. So he's a wrestling champion, working champion. So yeah, definitely Cody Rhodes is male wrestler of the year, and it ain't even close.
Agreed.
And we are simpatico again, as Liv Morgan is my female superstar of the year. And again, and it is close because Nia would have been there maybe if I didn't put her like most improved. Um, and there were a few other people I thought about, but it's really like when you really look at the year, nobody got more over and better than from the female standpoint than Liv Morgan. I mean, she's world champion, crown jewel champion, uh, got Dominic from Rhea. Got all these brothers out here. Brothers don't even watch wrestling. I've seen on social media fawning over her. Like, who is that?
Yeah,
Who is Liv Morgan? Like, man, she come to the cookout. I didn't see brothers on the podcast. It is a wrestling podcast. But it was like, yeah, Liv Morgan, that white girl you bring home, mama, you just gotta tell her, mama, I love her.
yeah. Sorry, mama, but it is
Sorry,
what it
mama.
is. It
Yeah,
is what it is. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. But yeah, she definitely. And I could, in retrospect, go back to our spirit debate and maybe back in times. Okay, maybe she wasn't really ready back then. I guess my passion really came from my worry of them passing up on her because they get somebody like this with all the potential in the world. They've done it so many times. And this is under Vince McMahon, by the way. This isn't under Triple H. Yeah, so that's a big caveat of getting these people the potential, all the potential in the world, and you squander it. From the Rusevs of the world, for example, to the Aleister Blacks, you know, people like that. I didn't want them to do that with her. So thankfully, she stuck it out, stuck around, and they tried. They did make her champion one event. She beat Ronda Rousey, but nobody really bought it. It was it was cowardly how it happened and everything. It wasn't really true versus this way, and how she's carried herself as champion. So yes, 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 Liv Morgan.
Well deserved.
Alrighty. Well, it's only right that the main event be our top three matches of 2024. So, starting with you, sir.
Okay, number
Number
three is
three.
probably going to be a surprise to people, but I had to show some love to this one. I don't know if a lot of people have seen it. If not, I highly suggest you go and watch it. This is from NXT, and it's from NXT TakeOver, which is the same weekend as Mania. And it's the North American Championship triple threat match between Oba Femi, Josh Briggs, and Dijak. These are three big guys. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of the big guys because you don't see a lot of technical wrestling from them. You see the big guy moves, which I also like, but I just enjoy the technical stuff more. But man, I'll tell you what, these guys were doing some incredible moves, all three of them, things you don't normally expect from big men. But then they were also doing the big guy moves. They were picking up each other, throwing them into the other one. It was a crazy, crazy match. Very entertaining. Um, Actually, NXT had their own countdown and recently voted that as their match of the year for NXT. But man, for me, this is definitely one of the best matches I've seen all year. And I wanted to show some love to it because I wasn't sure that it would get any. If you have not seen it and you have Peacock, go back, check NXT TakeOver. The whole card is pretty good, but this match is an absolute standout. So check that out. Number two for me, and man, these could have gone either way. This is tough. Whew. Number two, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, Hell in a Cell, Bad Blood. I've been critical of these Hell in a Cell matches, and I was very nervous when they said they were bringing back Bad Blood because we know that under the previous leadership, you didn't see a lot of blood in WWE. And I'm not saying you need to see it every week. I think it takes away from the shock and the specialness of it when you do it too often. But when you're bringing back Bad Blood and you're putting CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, who have had one of the most bitter rivalries in recent years, you're putting them in Hell in the Cell. Well, you better give us some blood. I mean, it's a blood feud. You can't build it up and not deliver. Well, you know what? This match delivered in every way. It was brutal. We saw CM Punk pull out a toolbox, and we saw both of these guys bleed. And McIntyre was at one point gushing like a faucet. I mean, it looked like the amount of blood he was losing could be dangerous. It was sometimes hard to watch. It was absolutely brutal. But you know what? It was everything that it needed to be to end this feud. CM Punk comes out on top. Drew McIntyre goes away for a while, but you know what? He's back now, and he even though he lost this match, he didn't lose anything. I like what they're doing with him. It looks like they still have a spot for him. He's still going to be a high profile wrestler in the company. But man, this match was something else. It brought back the Hell in a Cell match because for me they had kind of gotten stale. But man, this is one of the best ever. And then my number one match, man, it's hard to vote for me against Cody Rhodes versus Roman at WrestleMania 40. Not just because of these two one-on-one, but how it all set up with the match on Saturday. Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth to determine the rules of the match for Saturday. Well, of course, Cody loses, which means bloodline rules, which means basically anything goes. So you see all the interference you would expect, but then wow, man, you see like interference. You see guys like Undertaker come in to help Cody, and I'm trying to remember some of the other ones who came in, but you see all of these wrestlers, all of these shocks and surprises come in to help Cody get the victory. It was so entertaining. And even though, here's the thing, I think we all pretty much knew Cody was going to win. The question was just how would it play out? And it
Hmm.
played out in such an entertaining way. You didn't even care that you knew Cody was going to win. It was that good. So for me, that is my number one match of the year: Cody versus Roman, WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to say this. Roman kind of had that John Cena effect at this point where, yeah, we're all like 97, 95% sure Cody's gonna win. But this is Roman. Anything could happen. Um,
Yeah, I remember not being 100%, but I felt pretty certain Cody would win, or else there would be a riot in Philly. I mean, I don't WWE couldn't have come back from that.
yeah. But it's just that little bit of,
No, I'm with you. I had it too. I'm with you.
All right. What's down? Um, so my top three, and this is a match that people probably might give me a couple of but I mentioned it earlier because I need to get a women's match in my count. I feel like I had to have one, at least one. Not to make you
I,
feel bad,
I
but
wanted to. I
I just
wanted to.
yeah. But it was tough. I was like, man, there wasn't really a lot of standout women's matches, but the only one I can think of is this one. And it's Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber. I felt like this was the main event. I felt like they delivered. And just to see how over Rhea was and how Nia was over, but over as a heel. And just like I actually thought Nia had a chance, like a small chance to win. They're in Australia. They're not gonna beat Rhea before WrestleMania. We know that. But there was still like that little sliver of chance that as long as they put I thought as long as they put on a great match, and this was Nia Jax's Mania. She wasn't even on WrestleMania, but this was her WrestleMania right there. You could tell she just said, I'm in a stadium event, I'm in a main event, and I'm going against the champion. I mean, how many isolated times are you going to get that in your career? And she got it. And she went on to have obviously a fantastic year, 2024. So no big deal, no harm, no foul. But I did enjoy this match, how much the crowd was digging Rhea. Obviously, home country champ. I can't even say hometown. I gotta say home country champ.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So damn it, I keep hitting the wrong button here. Um,
It's live, y'all.
I'm rusty. It's been too long. But yeah, that's my number three. Number two, you already mentioned it. And yeah, this easily could have been number one. Um, just the brutality of this whole match here,
Man,
man. And literally when this match was so good that when War Games was done, everybody was like, "Well, it wasn't him. Well, it wasn't CM Punk or Drew McIntyre."
right, right.
Right. You know, when when you're that thing that people compare this to, it's says a lot. Man, I know it wasn't on purpose, but Jesus Christ, when Drew got busted open by that toolbox and he had to have I mean, he was gushing blood. And he told
Yeah,
her, "Oh, no, no, let it bleed. Let
yeah,
it bleed."
man.
That's what put
These
him
two,
out.
if this is going to be a regular pay-per-view, boy, I can tell you, these guys really set the bar high for whoever headlines next year. This year, I guess I should say now, it's 2025, but man, they really set the bar high.
Yeah. I mean, they set the bar high, period, for how you do. And they didn't even go on last. They went on first. Remember, they started the show. Like, everybody has to follow this. Like, man, and when you watch Bad Blood, you understand why what went on last, but still, okay, this deserved the main event spot. I mean, these two guys literally tried to kill each other from the jump, and there was so much blood. I mean, so much blood. I expected blood, but I didn't expect that much blood. Drew McIntyre was gushing. It was a faucet. And Punk was
Yeah,
bleeding all over the place too, and it was just a bloody freaking mess. I thought Punk was going to have to. Initially, he had help getting out of there, but he ended up walking out on his own. But yeah, it was bad.
yeah.
It was bad and blood like it's supposed to be.
Man, look, that's very few times. Oh, I don't want to say very few, but this match had a lot to live up to. You're calling it bad blood. It's in Hell in the Cell. You had to deliver on the brutality, and this definitely did.
Yes, and my number one was. It's probably not going to be too shocking to a lot of people, but it was night one of WrestleMania 40, the main event. And that was Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes going up against The Rock and Roman Reigns to determine the stipulation for night two. I had low expectations for Mr. Johnson over here because he hadn't wrestled in 9 years.
I could see that.
And the match he wrestled 9 years ago or 8 years ago, was against Eric Rowan, and it was 9 seconds, 6 seconds, some shit like that. It was rock bottom, over with. And then the match before that, he wrestled John Cena and tore his abdomen off of the wall. So it's like, okay, so can you get this match without getting hurt? Can you get to the match without looking gassed and win it? Because you are bigger than you've ever been in your entire life at 52, some shit like that. Just gigantic. And um, none of that was an issue. I think he really took it serious. He had that training camp for like 4 months training his ass off because I think and it was perfect because they had that strike going on. So he didn't have anything else to do but train for this. So it was great. He looked fine in the match, never looked winded. And he it was to the point where he talking shit the whole match, talking shit to Mama Rose. I mean, when he walked over to her with that belt, I mean, I was just like, this dude is on another freaking level right now, going at this man's mother. And then to get the win, talking shit the whole time for the win, going for the people's elbow, slicing the throat, looking at his mama again. Yeah, yeah, that one set with me for it. It still sits with me. I mean, just like wow. And that was the first match, also the first time seeing Roman come out, and that's best shape I've ever seen Roman Reigns in.
Yeah,
I mean that he not that big now, but he was big and lean. So I think he took the the reins, so to speak, of being tribal chief and said, well, let me step up this appearance here. And yeah, I love that match. It didn't have all the stuff that the next night two had, but I still think they told the story. The match was way longer than I thought it would be. It was very entertaining though. Um, and they did a good job telling the story.
Yep. Not mad about that either, man. That was a great WrestleMania.
Yeah. And for them to, people forget, it was like 50 degrees, and these guys out there
Right.
wrestling like it's nothing. You can tell it's cold. They're not sweating. I worried about injuries when, your body's cold, but I didn't see any heaters around the ring. Maybe they had them. We just couldn't see them. But yeah, glad nobody got hurt. Glad the night ended well, and Rock looked great, and everybody talking about the final boss. Still is talking about the final boss, as we saw him make his appearance at Bad Blood. So I think there's gonna be another appearance by the final boss here real soon, real soon. So.
Maybe sooner than you think.
So yeah. All right, everybody. That is gonna do it for the countdown of 2024. And hope you all enjoy. Let us know in the comment section what you all think. What were your best favorite moments of from the wrestling this year? Um, can't wait. 2025 is gonna be epic. Raw moving to Netflix Monday. We will have a post show for that because this thing has been booked so solid. Punk versus Seth Rollins, that last promo last week, Jesus Christ. I mean, if I hadn't already made this list, I might would put that on there too, because that Jesus, honorable mention, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Um, then you got Roman going against Sikoa for the one and only tribal chief in that Ulafala, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley.
I think
Uh,
you got you already mentioned Drew and Jay, I think, right?
no, I didn't mention June J.
Okay, Drew and Jay.
But yeah, this card is stacked. Card is stacked. They saved K, like Marab mentioned, they saved KO and Cody for Royal Rumble. So you got this ladder match. So you gotta wait for February 1st to see that. But yeah, Raw is gonna be stacked. Raw is gonna be stacked. So thank you all for watching. Take care, everybody. Happy New Year again. And Rob, start the year off right. Take us home.
Well, hey, it's 2025. Man, we're gonna have to check back and see what the date was of our first podcast. But we've been doing this for I'm gonna say like 5, 6 years now. So we would not be here without all of you watching and supporting us and telling your friends about us. So, firstly, we want to say thank you. But then we also graciously want to ask you to continue to spread the word, continue to support us because we are not done and we cannot grow this show without you. I mean, we just can't. So, we love and appreciate each and every one of you who have been watching. We love and appreciate your support. Please continue to give it to us. Thank you.
Yep. And right after this, y'all know what time it is. Time to get into that Joe Schmo. So y'all be up in about an hour or so. So take care, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Peace.